All right, working class beer reviews, get this straight here, is looking at Estrella Jalisco. Can't roll my R's real well, gotta practice it. Estrella Jalisco is an Anheuser-Busch Inbev Grupo Modelo brand. But Grupo Modelo, I think in the United States, is under Constellation Brands, something like that. As a whole, it is an Inbev brand, but because of antitrust laws, they're pretty much an overreach of kind of like close to a monopoly. In the United States, they have to be distributed under a separate brand. So, yeah, this got released probably a year or two ago, I'm guessing, in the United States under distribution. And I think they started in the lower states like Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California. And then they started, going farther north. So I noticed this probably about a year or two ago, year and a half. I delivered to restaurants, and I've seen this a lot in a lot of the Mexican restaurants. In 12-ounce bottles, clear bottles. It's meant to be, I say compete with Corona, but I think it's under the same umbrella of ownership as the company and Modelo and all that stuff. Dos Equis, I think, is under Heineken. And so, there is some competition between other companies that have distribution rights and ownership to Mexican lagers. But what I can read is 4.5% alcohol. I think on Rate Beer it's listed as an adjunct lager, but it's not saying that under other websites. They may just be assuming. I know some Mexican beers are all malt, but they're just very light, much like a Euro lager. And you see here it's got a lot of the soccer, or in other countries they call it football. This is made in Mexico, hecho in Mexico. It's got this neat little foil top on there. It's just a shroud, just removable. This is a 24-ounce can. I got this for around $2.99, which is pretty typical for your import lagers, Euro lagers, Mexican lagers. I find for reviewing purposes, this is good because clear bottles, if they're not kept under the right conditions, can go skunky over time if they get old. Cans are much more protected against light spoilage, which is what skunkiness is when the light spoils the beer. Even if it's cold, it can still get that spoilage from the light, ultra UV rays and stuff like that. Guadalajara, which I believe is a state in Mexico, on here in 1910 is when it was established. So I couldn't find anything online that this, talked about what kind of malts, what kind of hops. Just a pale Mexican lager. Like I said, in one site, Rate Beer says adjunct lager. I'm not like subscribed on to Rate Beer or Beer Advocate, but it was just more of a point of reference. They do give it like a company description or what the website says. So, yeah, let's give it a try. I've got this lager Pilsner glass. Try to give a nice good polish. So we will give it a crack. I think I've had this maybe once or twice. I bought one of these cans back when it first got released, before I started doing beer reviews. So I'm going to give it a nice little poke. I feel that helps to vent the can for pouring especially. And, if you're one of those that you drink it straight out of the can, there's nothing wrong with that. I think it helps to drink better too. Get a nice strong pour there. Ooh, that's pretty. I say that about a lot of beers. There is something to be said about a nice, well-poured beer. So you got a tall head, but that's also because I have poured it aggressively. And this is a fairly narrow rim glass, so it's going to hold the carbonation. I know I've talked about this in my previous videos. The point of a strong, aggressive pour is to release the carbonation. Because if you drink it straight out of the can, that carbonation is going to go down into your stomach and bloat you up like a blimp. And you're going to be burping all the time, possibly even uncomfortable, especially if you're eating food. So if you pour it into a glass, it releases the carbonation properly, and it also releases the esters, the aroma, and the flavor. Yeah, so first let's just look at the appearance. This is standard for your Mexican lagers. There are other dark lagers. Dos Equis Ambar is a Vienna style lager, kind of a light tannish reddish color. Negro Modelo is a dark lager, and Bohemia, I believe, is a Vienna style lager, maybe close to an amber style lager. It's kind of hard to find this area. But yeah, so you got some bubbles ascending to the top, still holding a decent sized head. It has climbed down, as it will. And also, let's go for the smell. Real light grain. Yeah, it smells grainy. I'm not sure if I smell corn. You're not supposed to taste it either, but I mean, most of us know that if it's an adjunct lager or not, you can smell the difference, taste the difference. So I may have to wait till the flavors. So let's go ahead and give it a taste. It's a good pronounced grain flavor. If it does have corn, it's not predominant. It's sparingly used. It is more of a barley malt flavored. It's going to be very similar to your Modelo Especial, your standard Dos Equis, and Corona. The ones we get around here, we get, especially in these 24-ounce cans, you can get Corona. They have the Corona Premier, which is like a Michelob Ultra version of Corona. Corona Light, Dos Equis, Sol. We started getting here recently. That didn't used to be the case. Modelo. We get Modelo in cans, and all these come in cans and bottles. You're usually going to find these in the 12-ounce bottles, clear bottles. So like I said, if you're wanting to try it for the first time, or you want to examine it, I suggest a can. There's nothing wrong with the bottles, especially if you get them fresh and all. But it's clean tasting. They probably use this for making the micheladas, which is kind of that cocktail beer with the clamato and stuff like that, and spices and salt, lime, whatnot. There's so many different recipes out there, so you could use this for making that. You could use this for any sort of cooking when you cook with beer, making bread, things like that. It goes good with any food. I mean, light lagers go good with any food. They're very accommodating to flavor. Give it another little pour here. It didn't fit that much in there. It developed quite well. So yeah, clear, very enjoyable. 4.5% is pretty standard. I think most of the Central American Mexican style lagers fall into that category in ABV. I mean, they do make some that are stronger, but they let you know. But this is pretty much like the standard, the benchmark for what that style of lager would be. Yeah, you'll see it at restaurants. They'll sell it in bottles. You may find it on draft, especially down in Mexico, possibly down those lower border states. They may have it on draft. It's possible. I'm not exactly sure where the state of Guadalajara is there in Mexico, but obviously if you were down in that area, you'd probably see it even more in every configuration possible, and lots of point of sale advertisement and whatnot. So yeah, it's good. 6-packs are typically around $8.99. It's a little rich for me. Like I said, this 25-ounce can was $2.99, or 24-ounce can, I'm sorry. Which I'm actually surprised. A lot of it, Inbev, S.A.B. Inbev products are in 25-ounce can, but maybe because it's under the Constellation brands instead of Inbev in the United States, that's why they go with the 24. So yeah, I bought that for the purpose of this examination or this review and all, and I wanted to try it without any sort of possible skunkiness. Got a little clinging going on there. Probably maybe should have cleaned my glass a little better. Although I'm not sure about 100% sure about that, because they say like with example with Guinness, totally different style beer. You know that you poured it properly. With every sip that you take, it leaves a ring every time that you drink it and you set it down. So if a properly clean glass still has rings on it like that, then maybe this is okay. I'm not sure. Maybe it's more of the bubbles clinging to the side of the glass. Maybe that's a sign. So anybody that knows about that in the comments, let me know how you feel about that. Anyway, I appreciate you watching this. Does this fall under working class? I mean, yeah, you're probably going to see a lot of working class people drink this, especially Hispanic people, or people that are more appreciate the Mexican style lagers more maybe than the regular American style, because they have a little bit more character, I think, than Bud Light. Because a 4.5 falls closer to the light beer range than it does the full flavored lager. So this is what because they make light versions of a lot of their other Mexican brands. So I don't know if they make a Estrella Jalisco light. I haven't seen anything that says so. Maybe down in Mexico they do. But yeah, so this has more character than a regular American light beer and all. So I do think that this would be considered working class. A little more than I want to pay for it, but I'd probably buy it once in a while, especially if I'm going to accommodate house guests or anything like that. So thanks for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.